everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this Mountain to Your Heart, Heart Opening Yin. During this class, we're really going to ease into heart openers with longer holds, yummy stretches. You'll need 2 blocks or anything that you can think of to replace it. And when you're ready, just go ahead and meet me on the mat. Just go ahead and grab your blocks. We're going to start in a laying on blocks position. And slowly come into a seated position. And here you have the option. Start by placing your blocks parallel in one line. So if you're a bit more inflexible, you can start by the lowest height, then maybe work your way to the medium height. And if you have a bit more range of flexibility, maybe you want to start at the highest height. So when you're here, again, blocks are in one line. You're going to start by placing the first block right where your spores rubber ends, so right in the middle of those shoulder blades. And that second block is just going to be for your head to rest on. So make sure that you're comfortable because we're going to stay here for a few breaths. When you're here, simply bringing your arms by your side. I'll invite you to close your eyes if you haven't already done so. For your legs, you can either keep them like this, so feet planting down onto the mat, or you can slowly start to straighten the legs in front of you, or maybe bringing the bottom of the feet together, taking this reclined, bound angle pose, whatever feels most comfortable for you today. Simply starting by focusing on your breath, bringing your attention inward. Allowing yourself to relax and let go of whatever you might be holding on to. Trying to make every inhalation and exhalation as equal as possible. Letting your body melt on the mat, on the blocks. Allowing yourself to melt onto the blocks, feeling fully supported. Already starting to feel an opening in your heart. breaths here wherever you are. Two more breaths here wherever you are. Next inhalation, slowly bring your legs back together. If they were apart, start pressing your forearms down on the mat. Slowly lift yourself off the blocks. When you make your way up, slowly move the blocks, put them by your side. Not gonna need them right now. And when you're here, stay in the seated position with your feet planting down. Here, keeping the feet planting down on the ground, staying in the seated position, we're going to take some modified cat-cows. So when you're here, feet are together, go ahead and maybe clasp the fingers together or take a hold onto each leg, whatever feels most comfortable for you. We're going to start and take a big inhale. Go ahead and inhale, bringing the belly through your thigh, letting the gaze drop back, thinking cow here, puffing the heart up. And on your exhale, drawing your chin to your chest, thinking cat. So really rounding in the upper back. On your next inhale, same idea, so dropping your belly and the gaze back. Heart is puffing up. On your exhalation, drawing your chin to your chest, cat pose. Inhalation, thinking cow again. And on your exhale, drawing your chin to your chest, really rounding in the back of the heart here. Next inhalation, thinking cow again, so bringing that belly as close to your thigh, puffing your chest up. Exhale, rounding, so chin to chest. Last one here. Take a big inhale, thinking cow, dropping the head back, and exhale. Chin to chest, rounding the upper back. Next inhalation, simply come back to center. We're going to take some Gomukhasana here. So starting with bringing your legs, so start by bending into the left leg, bringing your foot close to your bum to your right butt cheek. So here's repeating the same thing, but stacking that right leg right on top of the left one. So when you're here, maybe you stay here, maybe that's enough of a stretch for you already. Or maybe you go ahead, we're gonna try and attempt with the arm variation. So inhale, arms come up and overhead. And on your exhalation, actually starting to see if you have a bit more range of flexibility. Already start by trying to bring your feet out into this like T shape. Feet are flexed here, but only if you can keep the stag of the legs. So inhale, spine is straight and long. Exhale, starting with some side bend. So bring your right fingertips by your side. Exhale, bend towards the right side. Inhale, bring it back to center. And exhale, bending towards the left. One more on each side. So inhale, center. Exhale, bending towards the right. Last one on the left. Inhale to center. And exhale. On your next inhalation, bring it back to center. Go ahead and bend to that right arm. And bending into your left arm, bringing your hand, the palm of the hand to face out. Try and clasp your hands together. or maybe your fingers or your hands. Try not to have your hair in the way like me. Take a big inhale here. Chest is puffing up. And on your exhale, maybe you stay here. Maybe that's enough for you. Maybe you want a bit more of a stretch. So try and maybe fold onto the legs. Focusing on your breath here. Next inhalation, slowly lift back up. Release your hands, bring them back up to center. Exhale, release them by your side. Bring your feet back in if they were out. And slowly switch sides. So starting by bending into the right leg, bringing your foot close to your left butt cheek, stacking that left leg right on top here. So again, maybe you stay here, keeping the flex in the feet, or on your next inhale, arms come up and overhead. Slowly start by maybe walking your feet out into T shape. If you have a bit more range of flexibility. Take a big inhale, spine is straight and long. On your exhale, side dips again, starting from the right. So exhale, fingertips, right fingertips come down, bend towards the right. Inhale, center. Exhale towards the left. Inhale, center. One more on each side. Exhale, bend towards the right. Inhale to center. And exhale, bend towards the left. Inhale, come to center. And on your exhale, we're going to take that shoulder stretch. So start by bending your left hand to begin with. And on your next exhalation, bending your right arm, palm facing out. Try and clasp your hands maybe together, your fingers. Maybe you're using your yoga strap here if this is really too intense and you still want to give it a go. So on your next inhalation, maybe you stay here. On your next exhalation, you lower down. Try and melt forward, focusing on your breath here. Two more breaths here wherever you are. Next inhalation, slowly lift up. Arms come back up and overhead. Exhale, arms come back down. Bring your legs back in. On your next inhalation, bring your thighs back into your chest. When you're here, coming into seated position. So kind of a seated on heels position maybe to begin. And on your next exhalation, walking your knees out, and your heels out. Try and sit your bum in between your feet. So in the mat, right in between your feet. Here, if this is already too intense for you, maybe you want to place some blocks. Stay seated, focusing on belly button up and in, spine straight and long. On your next inhalation, you start walking your hands, your arms back, forearms back first. We're going to take a recline hero. So here, maybe you stay here. Belly button is up and in. Keeping your heart lifted, trying to relax in the pose. Or you fully come all the way down. Maybe you even bring your arms up and overhead. Whatever variation that you want to do today. Allowing yourself to relax and melt into the pose. Taking this moment to connect with your body, connect with your breath, connect with yourself a little bit more. Two more breaths here wherever you are. Next inhalation, slowly bring your arms back by your side. Plant your forearms down if you were in a seated position and start to lift yourself back up. Coming back into that seated position. Take a moment here to breathe. On your next inhalation, planting the hands down, slowly make your way into a tabletop position. So when you're here, wrists are right underneath your shoulders, hips are stacked over your knees. We're going to take a few cat-cows here. So take a big inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the tail, lifting the gaze, pushing the floor away. And on your exhale, drawing your chin to your chest, rounding in the upper back. Again, inhale. Draw the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze, push the floor away. Exhale. Draw chin to chest, really round in the back of the heart. A few more like this. Inhale. Draw the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze. Exhale. Chin draws into the chest. Press the floor away. Inhale. Dropping the belly, lifting the tail, lifting the gaze. And on your exhale, drop the belly. And on your exhale, drawing the chin to the chest, rounding in the back of the heart. Last one here. Inhale. Drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze. Exhale. Draw chin to chest. Press the floor away. Next inhalation, come back to neutral. When you're here, bringing the tip of your toes kind of in line and close to the end of your mat. We're going to take a puppy pose here. If this is very intense for you and you don't want to do the full active stretch today, you can go ahead and use a bolster. Place a bolster underneath your chest and lay down on the bolster or on some pillows, whatever variation you want to do today. So keeping your knees, hips distance. On your exhalation, drop the belly, lift the tail, start to walk your hands forward, mounting the forehead down on the mat. Then maybe the chin, really trying to keep a stack here, wherever you are. Maybe bringing the chest and the throat down. Making sure you're breathing here. Next inhalation, bring your hands beside your chest. Exhale, go ahead and sit onto your heels. Take a moment here to reconnect with your breath. On your next inhalation, grabbing your blocks again. We're going to do a puppy pose, but with the blocks this time. So bringing again the blocks, whatever height is enough for you. Today, I think I'm going to start with medium height. So here, placing the blocks about at shoulders distance. Start by bringing your elbows and like your back of the forearms down on the mat, trying to clasp maybe your hands, fingers together. Making sure your blocks are kind of in one line. On your exhalation, try and slowly let your chest melt down into this puppy pose again. Pressing down. Maybe pressing your hands in prayer against each other. Really engaging your core. Next inhalation, slowly lift up and remove your arms from the blocks. Place your blocks by your side. We're not going to need them for right now. You may need them later. So on your exhalation, slowly lower down, all the way down into your belly. When you're here, placing your forearms down on the mat. Your legs stay kind of hips distance. Your feet, really the back of the feet, hand down, presses the floor away. With your hands, we're going to take a sphinx pose here. So really inhale, puffing the chest up, looking back, pressing mat away. Feeling an opening in your heart here. Glute are engaged. Next exhalation, bring your belly and your chest all the way onto the mat. When you're here, bring your arms by your side. Here, start by placing your right arm straight out by your side, palm facing up. On your exhalation, we're going to take a side twist, a little bit different than what we usually do. Give you some options. So on your inhalation, start and kick back with your left leg. So twisting onto your right side. Maybe you stay here using your left hand to help you twist a little bit more onto your right side. Maybe you go ahead and clasp the hands together to begin, puffing the chest up. Maybe you bring both of the bottom of the feet together to kind of feel a bit more of a twist on that right side, wherever you are. Focusing on your breath. next inhalation, bringing your legs back the way they were. So straightening your right leg if you did a little bit of a variation like I did. And on your exhale, bringing that left hand back on the mat. And slowly make your way back onto your stomach, keeping your arms by your side. On your next inhalation, we're going to repeat the same thing again, but on the left side. So bring your left arm straight out by your side, palm facing up. On your next inhalation, we're going to take a side twist with our right leg leads the way. When you're here, maybe you want to clasp the hands together again, puffing the heart up. Feeling a stretch a bit more on that left side. If you took that variation, if you want to go deeper, you know what to do. So bring the feet together, letting your hips sink down towards the left side. Focusing on your breath here. Wherever you are. On your next inhalation, bringing your legs back together the way they were. So straightening that left leg if they were apart. Bringing that right arm back on the mat. And slowly making your way back onto your belly. On your next inhalation, press the hands down. And slowly coming into this tabletop again. We're going to take the blocks and actually, place them a little bit more by your side. We're going to take a frog pose here. So keeping your knees in line and slowly letting your right thigh slide out. Keeping your knees in line, focusing on your pelvic tilt. So popping your booty out. Keeping your feet a little bit more out. So not exactly in line with your knees, but your knees are in line with one another. Here I want you to try and stay on your forearms or on your hands to get a little bit more of that bend into your back. Heart is lifted. This is way too challenging. You can always put some pillows on your chest and forget about the back bend for now and simply focus on a few more breaths here wherever you are. On your next inhalation, bring it back into that tabletop position. When you're here, on your next exhalation, let your bum lower down, all the way down onto your heels, forehead come down on the mat. Big toes are separated, so your feet are just hips distance in line with your knees. On your next inhalation, come onto your fingertips. Inhale, lift your forehead off the mat, and exhale, try and slide your right arm under that left arm so that you can take a side twist. Looking up and over that left shoulder here. Focusing on your breath here. Next inhalation, bring it back to center. Take a full breath here, letting your forehead melt down on the mat. And next inhalation, lift the forehead off the mat. And go ahead and switch sides. So letting that left arm now glide under Your right, looking up and over. Left, right shoulder. Focusing on your breath here. Next inhalation, bring it back to center. Take a full breath here. And on your next inhalation, coming back into that tabletop position, simply so you can walk all the way to the top of the mat into a seated position. When you're here, go ahead and straighten your legs in front of you. We're going to take a shoulder split. So that's how I like to call it. Start by placing the palm of the hands down, fingers are pointing in the opposite direction. So not pointing in towards you, but out. So when you're here, maybe you have your feet flexed or pointed. It really doesn't matter. On your next inhalation, start to walk your hands back. Stop whenever you feel like it's enough for you. You don't want to feel pain, just a little bit of a stretch. Don't compare yourself to others here. Try and simply focus on your breath. Three more breaths here, wherever you are. Next inhalation, slowly start to walk your hands back in. When you make it back here, go ahead and open your legs by your side. I'm going to face this way so that you guys can see me a little bit better. We're going to take a wide leg pancake fold. So bringing your legs as wide as your flexibility allows you to, as wide as you want to today. We're going to start by rocking our hips back and forth, focusing on a pelvic tilt here. So popping your booty out, bringing your hips in. So that little rotation here. Really, really important in any hip opener. So here, focusing on that, doing it for 3 more times. Last one. And on your next inhalation, try and walk your hands forward here. The most important thing is that you keep focusing on that pelvic tilt. So popping your booty out, hips are in, belly button is up and in, spine is straight and long. Maybe you lower all the way down. Chest is all the way down onto the floor. Next inhalation, lift yourself back up, bringing your thighs back into your chest. Give yourself a little shake from side to side. We're going to take some seated twists here. So when you're here seated on your mat, and start by bringing your left foot. So go ahead and bring the inside of your left foot to your right butt cheek. Bringing your right foot over that left leg. We're going to take a twist. So go ahead and using your left arm, kind of wrap it over, looking up and over that right shoulder here. Using the arm to help you twist wherever you are, focusing on your breath. Next inhalation, bring it back to center. Go ahead and switch. So remove your right leg. Go ahead and bring that right foot close to that left butt cheek. Bringing your left foot up and over. Using your right arm this time to twist and clasp it over. That right leg looking up and over that left shoulder this time. Feeling a nice twist here. Next inhalation, come back to center. Go ahead and release. And slowly make your way onto your back, keeping your feet planted down onto the ground. When you're here, we're going to take a little bridge. So take a big inhale, lifting your booty off the mat. Pressing down into your feet, keeping your thighs kind of pushing inward, so you don't want your legs to go out, your knees to go out. Kind of keeping them in a straight line, pressing against each other. Maybe stay here pressing down on the mat, or maybe create a bit more space. And slowly clasp your fingers together, getting a bit more of a stretch. Wherever you are, just focusing on your breath here. On your next exhalation, slowly lower down onto the ground, bringing both thighs to your chest. You can take a bit of movements from side to side. On your next inhalation, go ahead and straighten both legs up on top of you, flexing both feet. Starting by bending that right leg, bringing it in front of the left one, stacking your right ankle on top of that left knee, bending into your left knee, clasping your hands around and under that left thigh. We're going to take a quad stretch on your exhale, trying to bring your left thigh as close to your chest as you can. You can take some movements from side to side here. That helps you settle into the shape a little bit more. Whatever you need. Two more breaths here, wherever you are. On your next inhalation, bringing that, clasping your hands around that right leg, straightening your left leg on front of you, bringing that right thigh kind of as close to your armpit as you can. Maybe you want to take some circles out with your right ankle. Kind of take some side twist. So inhale, bringing your right arm, palm facing down by your side, Keeping a bend into your right knee, trying to bring your right leg on the other side, looking up and over that right shoulder. Keeping your shoulder blades on the mat. So even if your knee doesn't come fully on the ground, doesn't matter. Next inhalation, bring your knee back to center. Inhale, bringing your left thigh back to center. Inhale, bringing your left thigh back to center. Straighten both legs up on top of you. Keeping your feet flexed here, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So starting by stacking that left ankle right on top of your right knee. Bending into your right leg. Clasping your hands around and under. Take a big inhale. And on your exhale, taking that quad stretch again. So trying to bring that thigh as close to your chest as you can. If you want, you can take some movements from side to side. See if that intensifies the stretch at all for you. Simply focusing on your breath. On your next inhalation, go ahead and clasp your hands. Maybe your fingers are together around your left leg this time. Straighten your right leg in front of you, trying to bring that left thigh close to your armpit as you can. Maybe you want to take some circles with your ankle. On your next inhalation, taking those twists again, but on the left side. So left arm, palm face down. Go ahead and bringing your left leg. Slowly trying to lower your knee. Maybe it falls down on the ground onto the right side. Maybe it doesn't, as long as your shoulder blades are on the mat. On your next inhalation, come back to center. Slowly bringing your right leg to your chest. Take a full breath here. And on your exhale, bringing both legs in front of you. And on your exhale, slowly straighten both legs in front of you. We're going to finish this practice by taking a few breaths in Shavasana. I truly hope that you enjoyed this mounted to your heart, gentle, heart-opening yin class, and that you feel as relaxed as I do and have a wonderful day. Namaste.